there. Well, this thing. Hello. I just singing myself some blues. A Hornsby. What's up, flat earthers and oblate spheroidists? Shane, here to insult and enlighten all at the same time. But I have some dark news. I finally achieved what most globe earthers should probably always strive for. I have been threatened. Take a look. Somebody has threatened me. Look at this. Tyler Durden, or so his name would indicate, has decided to say to me, close your channel or pay the price. Now, I don't know if he's going to porn bomb me or not. Hey, Tyler, I prefer lesbian porn if you're going to go that route. At least show me some dignity. But if you're going to do hardcore gay porn, fine. I can't stop you. But I can always make another channel. Here's the thing. Here is the thing. Are y'all ready for this? Uh, I don't care about threats. Also, I don't know what this price is supposedly. So if that price is porn bomb, I mean, I can handle that. Bring it. If you're threatening me on a deeper personal level, then I don't know. I guess I kind of like to know what the price is first of all, because I might want to pay it. I mean, you might be asking for a price that I'm capable of paying and will pay to keep my channel if you have something over me. I'm just saying. It's, consider it, okay? Give it a thought. Give it some thought, sweetheart, and let me know because I've been drinking, so I might agree. You never know. I mean, stranger things have in fact happened. So yeah, I've been threatened this week already. Now, ordinarily, I approach the flat Earth versus globe Earth debate with as much dignity and class as one who drinks a lot of wine can. But many will tell you, I don't really tolerate too much disrespect on my channel. Now, you can call me any name that you want. I don't care, except retard. For some reason, well, I'll be. Here's the deal, okay? What's behind them? Now, I don't care about this girl anymore, but she is the mother of my youngest child, and she has a daughter who was born severely disabled. And using the word retard is an insult to people like that, just like the N word would be to black people, and apparently the M word to the little people. So I say, we're better. We're not perfect, but we certainly are better than to be able to be calling people names, right? You know what I mean? Like, do we need to be calling people retard in order to have intelligent debate and conversation? No, we don't need to. In fact, it's better if I'm attacking the subject of debate. It is better to attack an argument and to dig your teeth into that argument than it is to start insulting people and using terminology such as flattard, blowtard, retard, moron, idiot. You have no brain. These things don't help the argument. Nobody wants to hear that. I know it makes you feel better because you want to feel superior because someone doesn't agree with you. But I can disagree with you. That's okay. You can disagree with me. Totally get it. It's cool. Now, can you disagree with definite facts and science? You can, but you would be wrong. The difference is if you agree with my belief or disagree with it, you're right because it's an opinion. If you disagree with the belief that the Earth is not flat or not a globe, I mean, then you have every right to say so and that you're right. If you disagree, you can go ahead and try. You're not wrong based on that alone. But when we stack up evidence on top of evidence and you start disputing that part of it, that's where you're either wrong or right. It's the evidence. It's like any court battle that you go to. You're in court, you have to if you're in traffic court, you kind of have to prove that your shit doesn't stink. because when you walk into traffic court with a ticket, the ruling is it has to be beyond the preponderance of a doubt. It's not like in regular court where you've murdered somebody and the stakes are much higher. It's reasonable doubt. In traffic court, it's preponderance. And I kind of understand it. I mean, it kind of doesn't really match up to our justice system. But at the same time, a cop pulls you over, they clock you doing 90 and a 60. It's really hard to fight that because they use technology. If they calibrate it correctly and it works and it's tested, it's really hard to dispute it. And, when I get pulled over anymore, when I'm speeding, I wait for the cop to get up to the door or to my window. I hand him all of my pertinent details. He says, I pulled you over. And I say, no, but I imagine it was for speeding because I'm not dumb. I know I was speeding. And then they, invariably will go, yeah, I pulled you over because you're going 90 to 60. And I'd be like, okay, well, you're right, I was. And then I get my ticket and I go to court and they reduce it. So arguing things with facts versus opinion is the only way to go. So every time you call me a fat moron, idiot, or whatever, you're not really making an argument. You're just relieving your own stress for either not being able to convey your idea or not understanding mine. And you know what? I get it. We can have that. That's okay. We don't have to agree on everything. You might even have facts that you think are valid. They aren't, or they are. That's the only thing. They are or they aren't. It's not a negative. It's not a personal thing. If your facts are wrong, they're just wrong. That's just all there is to it. So yeah, I don't know what to do about this threat, and I'm not scared about it, but I am curious what kind of consequence or price I'm going to have to pay. So I guess we'll stay tuned on that. Although I have, on a number of occasions, replied to that already, and I haven't heard back. So I'm probably not going to worry too much about it. But anyway, oh, look, 0 viewers. Not surprising. I don't have that many followers. That's okay. I'm not necessarily trying to get a bunch of followers. It may be nice, but I'm not monetizing this channel. I've said it over and over. I won't do it. I don't need the money. I don't want to get rich off of arguing something as arbitrary as flat Earth. It's entertaining, but if I'm wrong, it's like, oh, okay, shit. Well, I guess the Earth is flat. I just keep on living the same life I was going to live anyway. It doesn't matter, right? The Earth being a globe or a flat doesn't change our life in any way, shape, or form. It really it's just a format for the rock that we live on. We can all agree that it's mostly rock and shit on top, right? Whatever. So the Seahawks are playing in Denver, and I'm not a big football fan, so I'm in here with my unkept look, waiting for somebody to pop in and challenge me or say hi. Something. I could play music, but I have to go get my guitar. Hey, what's up, viewer? All right. Maybe my video yesterday was too much. I kind of went off on the Quran and the Bible. I don't feel sorry for that. I don't feel like there's any kind of scientific basis for a belief in the Lord, in God. And why should there be? Because there is no God. I mean, I'm not saying that you shouldn't try to enhance your life, but God damn it. When, okay, it baffles me that you think there's a God. Because I know that if I was God at this day and age, I wouldn't have any problem with just ripping open the sky for a minute and being like, hey guys, what's up? By the way, I'm real. Have a good day. And then going on with my day. So that I can tell my people, because what God is, here's religion in a nutshell. Some people got together and wanted to control the masses. It was one of two things. Either somebody wanted to control people and their behavior in society, or wanted to provide hope for people because they realized that the concept of an eternal death and never coming back to life and being gone forever was horrifying. So either they wanted to control or to soothe. Somewhere along the line, control is definitely what it was used for, because that's why we had the Crusades. That's why we have America, because we wanted to get away from that. But essentially, it's a bunch of writings by some people who either wish to control or wish to soothe. And the whole belief is that there's a God up there who's all powerful, who can do everything if you ask. And then come down 2018, this God still wants you just to have faith. He wants you to have faith in him. Yeah, I don't know. It just makes no sense. If you're God and you know everything about human beings, you know, especially if you're arguing with flat earthers, he can come down out of that sky, land on your roof, call you out of your house, be like, bro, I'm God. Watch me ascend to heaven. I'm real. Scoot off into heaven. Some people are going to still believe, and some people are simply not going to. There's even people that who believe in God and still want to tell him to fuck off. God knows that if he knows everything. So why do people continue to push the Lord onto people? Use it for yourself if you need it. That's great, and I support you 100%. Tell people that want to know, but stop pushing it as an agenda. Stop saying that everybody should live a certain way. Even though I'm doing that right now, what I'm doing is a different type of it. It's more of a let people live their life and believe what they want to believe, and stop forcing it. Be available, but not. I mean, basically, stop raping people with your ideals and forcing them on us, right? So if you're a flat earther, you've got a lot of ground to cover, because you're going to need science to back up your whole debate. You're going to need it. There's a little saying I have. I don't know if it's a saying more than just a thought. If you're a flat earther and you're fighting this fight against us globe tards, if you will, uh, then science comes along and says, "Hey, whoops, we got it wrong, guys. Actually, the Earth is flat. More so, it's not just flat; it's like a drain. It's kind of convex in the center, but definitely not round. We're sorry, we totally got the math wrong." And suddenly, that same science that flat earthers have been denying for however long, they're going to suddenly buy it. They're going to turn right over, and you're going to go, "Told you," and you're going to use science in that regard to make yourself right. Which says to me, you don't want, and you are anything more than to be right. You don't want to know the truth. You just want to be right. When somebody shows you evidence, especially evidence you've asked for, and you reject it immediately, you're basically telling them nothing you can do will satisfy my need for evidence for this particular topic. Therefore, unless you agree with me, I will never agree with you. So science is proving over and over and over and over and over and over and over the globe. It's putting things out into space that many globers don't believe in. It's taking pictures from space that all globers think is CGI. And all of this has been debunked and proven, but yet debunked as far as CGI and proven it to be real, and you still argue it. So if we take that back to the whole religious thing, it's the same idea. You believe in God from a completely faith-based situation, and you want everybody to believe in God from a faith-based situation. And you want everybody to believe that the Earth is flat from a faith-based stance. Fuck, this wine is kicking in. By the way, I recommend Christian Brothers Ruby Port. They don't pay me, but it's pretty tasty, and it's 18% alcohol, so you get that little kick, which is nice. Anyway, back to this thing. So I get threatened by somebody named Tyler Durden, apparently, who says, uh, cancel your channel or pay the price, I think is what he said. And I was like, I'm thinking to myself, like, what is the price? And I did ask that, what's the price? So if any of you know this individual, I encourage you here. I'll show you one more time. I encourage you and them to come to my channel and talk to me directly because I ain't afraid. I mean, there it is right there, right at the top. Close your channel or pay the price. I didn't thumbs down it, but I think I will for fun. And just because. So this is coming from what? I don't know. But it is a little bit, it is a little interesting, I must say. Maybe it was because of my video. It was because of my video yesterday. And I gotta admit, I'm not the most exciting of the global earthers out there. I mean, you can go see Conspiracy Cats, who's quite interesting and funny, who always likes to start out his video by using flat Earth uh, video to make some funny little montage, which I always laugh at. Or you can go to Sly Sparkane and watch his experiments and listen to his logic. He's so good at it. Or there's Sean Hufford. You can also go check out. Who's another one? Greater Sapien. These are all people that when I'm stuck on something, I go and watch their channel because sooner or later they'll debunk everything, like the way that Greater Sapien debunked the D Marble laser test experiments. And it really simply just amounted to D Marble not understanding lasers. And that's okay. I mean, nobody's really required to understand lasers. I don't. So when he made that video and then he was smug about it, Sapien was like, "But look, here's what happens when you put a little bit of water underneath the laser. Next thing you know, it's a fight because now the flat earthers are wrong." So in science, they would have just said, "Well, crap, I didn't account for that." So they would rerun the experiment, accounting for the things that Greater Sapien pointed out. But that never happens. And it gets tiring. It's like I've been talking to flat earthers. There's this guy Ute out there presenting this idea that I can't find any proof of that the Earth spins at a certain rate from 12 a.m. to 12 p.m. and then from 12 p.m. to 12 a.m. again, it slows down and rotates at a different speed. Now, all of the evidence I can find on this is that the Earth rotates at a constant speed. There is no little jitter at the end of that. It's a constant rotation. But you argue these things with people and you can show them all sorts of different evidence or different publications, and nothing's good enough. So I just don't understand what it's going to take to get to a flat earther and say, listen, I understand that you think the earth is flat. I understand some of the mechanisms behind why. I get that you don't want to be lied to, that you don't want to be taken advantage of, that you think NASA is a lie, that you think there's a bunch of conspiracies out there causing us to believe the Earth is a globe. For what reason, I don't understand, but I understand that you think that. And it's real to you. So I will validate that feeling. I can't validate the info, but I will validate the feeling to you that you feel that's real. Good. I get it. I've been there. I thought girls liked me. Turns out they didn't. Should have known better. Obviously, look at this. But the bottom line is your belief, whether it's based on fact or not, is still valid. The point is, you also, many flat earthers are seeking the truth, and yet all they're doing is spitting out the same crap that they continue to hear from other flat earthers. They look to Mark Sargent and to Eric Dubay and to D. Marble. They're like, these are our mentors. They tell us what to think and then call us indoctrinated. It's a very opposed situation, and we all are complicit in this. It's not that the flat earthers do it and that's it. Globe earthers do it too. But I honestly see globe earthers trying to care about the science. It's not about an emotional reaction. Some of it is trying to sort of say, hey, look, no, I mean, this is what I believe my whole life. I can't believe that everything I've been told was a lie. But a large part of it is to look at the science and go, but that makes sense and it's provable. So I don't feel lied to. Flat earthers feel lied to. You won't let go of it. You won't lay your ego down on the table and say, hey, I don't need to be right. I don't need to be correct in my belief. I want to know the truth. There is a difference between knowing the truth and being right. You can be right and know the truth, but you can also know the truth and be wrong at the same time, which is also true for globe workers. And I can confidently say in front of millions of people, should there ever be millions of people ever watch this shit, which for whatever reason, why? But in front of these two viewers that are at least here, listen, I don't care if I'm right. I care that I know the facts. I'm confident that I do because of all the experiments that I could run, that I've seen run, that could only point to one thing. But I really wish that I could find a flat earther close by. I'm going to shout out to Wizlaws. This is an individual who has been sharing with me through the Hangouts some videos and things like that of interesting things that are done by flat earthers that maybe I should be aware of, and it's fine. And I've been watching them slowly as I've had time. My verdict is still the same. I don't see any evidence, but I am making a point with this, and that this individual is a flat earther who's not so convinced of his superiority as a human being that he's absolutely right. He's just showing me why he believes it. And I set a challenge out to the flat earthers to comment on my videos as to what causes you to believe the earth is flat in a non-confrontational way, because your opinion is safe with me. I don't have to agree with you in order to validate it. So remember that. Put the comment there and say, I think the earth is flat because, and it could be something as simple as you just don't trust NASA. I'm going to reply to those always because the globe Earth was determined well before NASA was ever a thing. We don't need NASA. We can totally remove NASA from history. NASA is like one of those things where, you know, cake is pretty good, pie is pretty good, but when you add ice cream to it, you elevate it. And so NASA is like ice cream. We already have the cake, and if there was no ice cream, we could still enjoy that cake. But with NASA, now we have ice cream. So we have the pictures, we have the exploration. Take away NASA, we don't need them. We can still easily prove the globe without it, as long as we have math and people that understand how to add and subtract and how to come up with theorems. It's that simple. So if your belief in the flat earth stems from a NASA belief, get rid of that. Start with something else. We don't need NASA. America didn't discover the flat earth. NASA didn't discover the flat earth. Somebody centuries ago in Italy or Europe or something discovered the flat earth. That was brought here from there. They believed the earth was flat centuries before America was even a thought. So take any other belief in your flat earth and bring it to me. Tell me why you think the earth is flat. Is it a conspiracy theory? Do you not understand physics, or do you think that your understanding of physics is better than the existing laws of physics? Do you have different laws of physics that you can share? Because we're never going to have an end to this argument. It's just going to be more and more people uh, regurgitating the same data, whether they know it to be true or not. And nobody's going to use science on the flat earth side to prove the flat earth to anybody on the globe side, because the physics have all been documented. I will offer, though, one olive branch in the whole argument, and that there is a gentleman who is working on a theory that he thinks he's pretty confident on, that there is no dark matter. I want to point this out, because earlier on a chat, some asshole was going after me about, and I say asshole, and if you've been watching my channel, I have a hard time insulting people because it's not really my thing. But this guy was an asshole, because if you set out in an argument and you never ask a question of the other person, and you hear a couple of things that they say, and you make a bunch of assumptions, and then you say insulting things about those assumptions, you're a fucking asshole. So this asshole was telling me that gravity doesn't work, because there's a dark matter thing and yada yada yada. So at first, I'm not really following it because there is no dark matter on Earth, and gravity works a certain way on Earth. And I just went through an entire mathematical presentation about how it works and why a bird and a butterfly can fly versus water being sucked down to the Earth with the density and mass and so on and so forth. So I go through that yesterday, and then on this live feed, this guy has the gall to basically say that, you know, I think the dark matter is out there, and I actually never have. I've always thought that, I mean, dark matter is a relatively new concept to me. I know it's been a thought since Stephen Hawking was on the scene, but to me, it's a relatively new concept. And as I thought more and more about it, it kind of makes sense a little bit if you think of it as water without the same density or the same properties, but with similar properties. But I don't like the idea of dark matter, because you can't really see it, and matter is typically visible. Um, I guess on an atomic level, it's not, but I don't know. I've never really been gung ho on the idea of dark matter, but I do understand that scientists believe that in space, dark matter is responsible for a few of the things where gravitational constants and mathematics don't work. Because in certain galaxies, stars that are closer to or galaxies where planets are closer to their main star rotate faster or orbit faster than ones on the outside. And so scientists sort of put that on dark matter for slowing things down or speeding things up. And in this guy's statement to me, he wants to talk about gravity not being off tenfold and dark matter not existing, and being an asshole to me about it. Well, that said, this new developing thought is that gravity isn't really, it's there. Now, this scientist doesn't deny gravity in any form, but he is thinking that it works differently than what we believe, because there's planets out there that are circling their star faster when they're closer than when they're farther out. So that belief with him, he has to remove dark matter from his equation in order to make that work, from his thought process. So in his exact words, when I was saying verbatim, by the way, but I watched his video, and the exact words that he said amounted to, if there's no dark matter, then we can predict the movement of these clouds based on my thoughts. If dark matter exists, though, then I'm wrong. And he said that. He said I'm wrong if dark matter exists. Dark matter, if you know anything about it, has not been found. It's just a theory, or a hypothesis rather, that scientists believe dark matter is to blame for some of the gravitational anomalies that we see. But when you come back onto the planet Earth, and gravity works here in such a way as to have a gravitational constant multiplied by the two masses of whatever's being affected by gravity over the radius, or the distance between the radiuses squared. It's a constant equation. I think a gravitational constant is 6.67 to the negative 11th power, and then whatever times whatever the two masses happen to be. And I think Earth is like one, is it 5972 to the 24th power. That's the mass of Earth. So if you take that and you multiply it by another object's mass, multiply it by the gravitational constant, and then divide that by the radius squared, you have a gravitational force in newtons that acts on any object. This guy probably has a gravitational force of somewhere around 0.00004 newtons, whereas this one is probably more like 0.0002. Very, very small amount of gravity on smaller objects. But when you think about water, it's such a huge, water joins together into one mass, and all the molecules act as one when they're joined in a cup, a bowl, and a tub. So if you think about the oceans as one solid mass of water, they all have a density and a mass, and they're being pulled toward the center of the Earth with a gravitational force of 5.972 to the 24th power times a fucking huge number that water weighs, or the density of water, divided by 45,502,241. It's 44. I think it's trillion. 502 million. No, billion. 241 million. That's the number that you divide those by to get the force of water, gravity on water, which is, I determined yesterday that it's the gravitational force in newtons on the mass of the oceans is a fuck ton of newtons, fuckload of newtons. That's the number I came up with because I didn't want to write it all out. It's a fucking fuckload of amount. Chat is very not busy today. All right. So I'm gonna take a break, thought break, because I've been drinking for a while. It's only 2:41. And get kind of fired up about this subject. I would that all of us be friends on this channel. You know, I mean, if you've been here and you've been a regular and you subscribe, you know that when the chat gets pretty crazy up in here, that we keep it pretty civil. It's pretty easy to get your words in. It's easy to make an argument. I can't really control what other people say, but I definitely try to control myself in my chats and in my channel to be accepting of varying opinions, including those of flat earthers, and to entertain the arguments that you make. And I'm willing to go through them and show you why they don't make sense to me. And I've done this before. And in some cases, the people that have brought their videos to me to show me why they think the earth is flat, we've talked about it. And I don't believe that I've convinced anybody otherwise. But I do believe that based on the format for which I handle the business here, we can get to at least the determination that these proofs aren't actually proofs. They're more subjective. But most of your line of sight experiments right now really miss a lot of data. And it's an interesting thought because flat earthers are all over anytime a globe person wants to show data. They, oh, that's not, you didn't account for this and that and the other thing. And globers, it's the same way. But when we look at the experiments, most of your globe experiments, like Sykes Arcane, for example, will be pretty logical and straightforward and account for all the variables that we know about. Whereas a flat Earth video typically ends up being a gloss over. I don't really fully understand all the science. I didn't look into all of the research, but I wanted to be right type of rhetoric. As an example, I've seen before somebody putting out a video where, oh, look, I can see this mountain that should be behind the curve. From 50 miles away, there should be 3,000 miles hidden by the curve, and yet we see this mountain. And then, you know, all it takes is somebody to come along and go, yeah, but the mountain is 12,000 feet, so why wouldn't some of that be visible, you know? So, yeah, it's an interesting experimentation that happens. It's more of a glossing over and a desire to be right about something, so you forget the little details. But you gotta get those details in there, man. Gotta get those details in there. Otherwise, you're just like any religious fanatic that claims that God, like this guy that popped up in my feeds recently, named Jaquan or whatever, talking about the Quran and making that the basis for his entire flat earth argument. It's in the Quran. Like, okay, you know, there's a closet. There's like a talking about literature and how it relates. There is a wardrobe somewhere on this planet that you can open up and you can go inside of this wardrobe. It's just a piece of furniture where you keep like coats and shit. But if you go into this one particular wardrobe, you'll get transported to this other place where there's like this big ass lion in charge of shit, you know? And I think his name is Aslan. I could be wrong, but it's something like that, you know? And like he's in control of like literally everything, right? But then there's this other real evil bitch that lives there and she also wants control of everything. So she comes in, like, freezes shit and kills the lion and all this other shit, and the lion comes back to life. If you go into this wardrobe, that story will unfold before you and know it's real. I saw it in the book. To me, that's what religion is. It's this story. Some of it has historical significance. I'm not going to lie that I don't believe that. I believe that the Bible has historical significance in things, social events, cities. Oh my God, the whole Bible was written during a time when people thought the earth was flat, and so obviously the earth had a firmament with a dome, and it was ripped open, and blah 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 blah. It's tiring at best to read of the Bible and try to make your whole scientific argument based on something no science, no science. Oh, goddamn, I'm boring today. You know what? Maybe it's not me. Maybe it's this whole topic. I might be getting bored of flat Earth. Not such that I don't find the debates to be lively and entertaining and sometimes thought provoking, but a debate maybe not necessarily meant to change minds, but if we are debating, the idea that our minds are open should be at the forefront, I think. I mean, we're talking about a subject that has scientific backing or scientific methods to prove it, and nobody is taking the steps needed to prepare themselves for the truth. Globe side, flat Earth side. With the globe side, I've gotta give them the points because they're not believing something and then finding ways to make it fit their belief. They are believing something and finding ways to alter their beliefs so that they match what is observable in reality. So, you know, that's that's the argument. And nobody's gonna change their mind. And if you tell me to show you the curve and then I give you pictures and all you do is say you're fake, where do we go from there? Anyway, so if you are the threatener of me that I've shown on this particular live feed, first of all, I would like to know what your problem is. Second of all, go fuck yourself. Third of all, I'm not canceling shit. So if you're gonna porn bomb me, fucking porn bomb me. I'm not gonna cry about it. I'll probably laugh because the term porn bomb makes me laugh when I hear it anyway. Even though I know it's a real thing, it's still hilarious to me. If I get porn bombed, then I'm just like any of the others. You know, Sean Hufford admitted to being porn bombed. I'm sure it's happened to everybody. There's a first time for everything. So if that's the price that I have to pay to keep my channel, then porn bomb me as fuck. Like I said, lesbian porn preferred because I'm sure I can get a few likes off of that. Otherwise, if it's hardcore gay porn, fine, so be it. But I'm not canceling my channel just so you can feel better about yourself. However, if you have something to say, I'm here, baby. Talk to daddy. Talk to daddy. I'm gonna go. I'm probably gonna come back online later on my other channel, Shane Rush, and play music because I'm kind of feeling it. Yeah. Hey man, good talk. Have a great day.